Hey everyone. Welcome back to Ani Cavern. Today, we're diving into the world of hilarious manga, and I'm starting with some underrated gems that deserve way more attention. Let's jump right in. 1. Sankaria, Undying Love by Mitsuru Hattori. This quirky manga blends horror with comedy in a delightfully unusual way. It follows the story of Chihiro, a high school student obsessed with zombies, who ends up bringing a zombie girl named Rei back to life. What ensues is a series of comical and endearing moments as Chihiro navigates his new undead companion's unique needs while trying to keep her secret. 2. Koiway's works by Masahiko Nakamura. This charming manga revolves around the eccentric and hilarious misadventures of Koiwai, a salaryman with an unpredictable life. His antics, ranging from dealing with quirky colleagues to navigating absurd situations, are portrayed with a humorous touch that will keep you chuckling from start to finish. The manga is a delightful mix of satire and comedy, showcasing Nakamura's unique sense of humor. 3. Karakai Jouzu no Takagi-san by Soichiro Yamamoto. This manga is a lighthearted and playful series about a middle school boy who is constantly teased by his clever classmate, Takagi. Her endless pranks and witty comebacks keep Nishikata on his toes as he tries to come up with ways to get back at her. The interactions between these two characters are filled with humor and charm, making it a delightful read. 4. Defrag. By Tomoya Haruno, this manga centers on a high school delinquent who gets roped into joining a bizarre club full of eccentric members. What starts as a reluctant participation soon turns into a series of comedic adventures as the protagonist navigates the club's oddball activities and outlandish schemes. With its wacky humor and unpredictable plot twists, Defrag is a refreshing take on school life comedy. 5. The No Sai by Akira Himkawa, an underrated gem that combines humor with a unique storyline. The manga follows the antics of a professional wrestler who struggles with maintaining his career and personal life. The juxtaposition of over-the-top wrestling drama with everyday problems creates a hilariously entertaining read. The character interactions and comedic timing make this series a standout. 6. Jigaku Sensei Noob by Sho Makura. This manga presents a blend of supernatural elements with comedy. It follows Noob, a teacher with a demon hand, as he deals with various ghostly and paranormal occurrences in his school. The series combines eerie situations with humorous resolutions, creating a delightful contrast that keeps readers both entertained and amused. 7. Kono Baijutsubu ni wa Mondai ga Aru. By Tokino Hoshino. Set in a high school art club, this manga is full of comedic moments as the members engage in absurd and amusing activities. The interactions between the club's eccentric members and their often ridiculous art projects make for a hilarious read. The series captures the chaos and fun of high school life with a creative twist. 8. Cromartie High School by Eiji Nanaka. Known for its offbeat humor, this manga follows the daily lives of students at an infamous high school filled with delinquents and eccentric characters. The absurdity of the situations and the bizarre behavior of the characters, including a robot and a seemingly normal student, create a uniquely funny narrative that's hard to put down. 9. Hinamatsuri by Masao Otake, a fantastic blend of comedy and slice of life. This manga centers around a Yakuza member whose life is turned upside down when a powerful psychic girl appears in his home. The contrast between the ordinary Yakuza life and the extraordinary powers of the girl leads to numerous comedic situations and heartfelt moments. 10. Kakashigoto by Koji Kamita. This manga tells the humorous and touching story of a father who tries to keep his embarrassing job as a manga artist secret from his young daughter. The series expertly balances comedy with heartfelt moments, showcasing the father-daughter relationship through a series of amusing and often poignant episodes. 11. Great Teacher Onizuka by Toru Fujisawa. This series follows the misadventures of Eikichi Onizuka, a former gang member turned high school teacher with a knack for unconventional teaching methods. His attempts to connect with and reform his troubled students lead to a series of uproarious and heartwarming moments. The blend of humor and life lessons makes this manga a classic. 12. The Disastrous Life of Seiki Kei by Shuichi Aso. This manga chronicles the life of Seiki Kusuwa, a high school student with overwhelming psychic abilities. Despite his attempts to live a quiet life, his powers attract a hilarious array of quirky characters and bizarre situations. Seiki's deadpan reactions to the chaos around him are both entertaining and comically relatable. 13. Zetsubo Sensei by Koji Kamita, a dark comedy that follows a despairing high school teacher who encounters a series of bizarre and often morbid situations involving his students. The humor is sharp and satirical, exploring themes of pessimism and societal quirks with a twisted sense of humor. Point 14. Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun by Izumi Tsubaki. This manga centers around a high school girl who discovers that her crush, Nozaki, is a popular shoujo manga artist. She becomes his assistant and gets involved in the humorous and often absurd situations inspired by his manga. The series combines romantic comedy with a behind-the-scenes look at manga creation. Point 15. Toradora. By Yuko Tokamiya, known for its comedic and heartfelt moments, this manga follows the tumultuous relationship between two high school students with conflicting personalities. The humorous situations arise from their attempts to help each other with their respective crushes, leading to plenty of laugh-out-loud moments. Point 16. Sket Dance by Kenta Shinohara, a comedic series about a high school club dedicated to solving problems and helping others. The eclectic mix of characters and their wacky adventures provide plenty of laughs, from dealing with bizarre requests to engaging in over-the-top scenarios. Point 17. Baka and Test, Summon the Beasts by Kenjiro Hata. This manga features a high school where students summon creatures to battle each other based on their test scores. The humorous premise leads to a variety of entertaining conflicts and quirky character interactions, all set within a competitive academic environment. Point 18. Sakamoto Disugie. By Nami Sano, this manga follows the effortlessly cool and perfect Sakamoto, who seems to handle every situation with style and ease. The humorous contrast between his composed demeanor and the chaotic scenarios he encounters is both charming and laugh-inducing. Point 19. Chiyo's School Road by Tadataka Kawasaki. This series depicts the daily life of Chiyo Mayamo, a high school girl whose commutes to school are filled with absurd and comical adventures. From encountering strange characters to getting caught in bizarre situations, Chiyo's journeys are a blend of humor and slice-of-life moments. Point 20. Orisuki, Are You the Only One Who Loves Me? By Rakuta and Buriki, a comedic take on the romantic genre, this manga follows a high school student who discovers that his seemingly perfect love interests have their own bizarre and humorous flaws. The series plays with romantic tropes in a refreshingly funny way. 21. Mitsudomo by Norio Sakurai. This manga features the comedic trials and tribulations of a trio of mischievous triplet sisters in elementary school. Their outrageous antics and the bewildered reactions of their teachers and classmates create a series of hilarious and over-the-top scenarios. Point 22. Nichijou, My Ordinary Life by Keiichi Arawi, a surreal comedy that presents the everyday lives of three high school girls in the most extraordinary ways. From talking cats to robotic teachers, Nichijou combines absurd humor with whimsical storytelling to deliver laugh-out-loud moments. Point 23. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible by Nene Yukimori. This manga follows a high school girl who struggles with being practically invisible to everyone around her. Her comedic attempts to be noticed and her interactions with those who finally see her lead to a humorous exploration of her unique predicament. Point 24. Hozuki's Cool-Headedness by Natsumi Iguchi. Set in the afterlife, this manga features Hozuki, a demon who manages hell with a calm and collected demeanor. His interactions with other infernal beings and the bizarre situations that arise make for a darkly comedic and entertaining read. Point 25. Uramikai o Naizen by Gaku Kyu's. This manga depicts the daily life of Uramikai, a children's TV show host who is secretly depressed and jaded. The contrast between his cheerful on-screen persona and his cynical real-life interactions creates a comedic yet poignant narrative. Point 26. Moya Shimon by Masayuki Ishikawa. Centered around a student who can see and communicate with microorganisms, this manga combines educational elements with humor. The protagonist's interactions with these tiny creatures and the often ridiculous situations that arise offer both laughs and learning. Point 27. Senyu. By Robinson Haruhara, a parody of classic fantasy adventures, this manga follows a hero and his sidekick on a quest that's filled with comedic mishaps and absurdities. The humorous take on traditional fantasy tropes provides plenty of laughs. Point 28. Hinamatsuri by Masao Otake, the comedic tale of a Yakuza member whose life is upended by a powerful psychic girl who ends up living with him. The blend of Yakuza drama with the girl's extraordinary abilities leads to numerous funny and heartwarming situations. Point 29. Akame ga Kill. By Takahiro and Tetsuya Tashiro. While known for its dark themes, this series also incorporates humor through its colorful cast of characters and their interactions. The blend of intense action with light-hearted moments makes for an engaging read. Point 30. Wotakoi, Love is Hard for Otaku by Fujita. this manga humorously explores the romantic lives of otaku characters navigating love and relationships. The relatable and often funny experiences of the characters as they balance their fandom with their personal lives offer a charming and entertaining read. 31. Kimi to Koi no Tachu by Saki Ikawa, a comedic romance that follows the misadventures of a high school girl who, after a series of misunderstandings, ends up in a relationship with the most popular boy in school. The humor comes from the quirky situations and misunderstandings that arise as they navigate their new relationship. 32. Tanaka-kun is Always Listless by Nozomi Yuta. This manga focuses on Tanaka-kun, a perpetually lethargic high school student who seems to do everything in a laid-back manner. The humor stems from his interactions with his energetic friends and the everyday challenges he faces while trying to stay as unbothered as possible. 33. Kakishigoto by Koji Kamita, a humorous and heartwarming series about a manga artist who goes to great lengths to hide his profession from his young daughter. The juxtaposition of his embarrassing job with his earnest efforts to be a good father leads to many comedic and touching moments. 34. Hataraku Mao-sama by Satoshi Wagahara. This manga features a demon lord who, after being defeated and transported to modern Tokyo, has to work part-time at a fast food restaurant. His struggles to adapt to mundane life and his interactions with his former enemies make for a hilarious read. 35. My Wife is a Demon Queen by Chi Yi and Lu Lu. In this comedic fantasy, a man accidentally marries a demon queen and finds himself embroiled in a series of hilarious and fantastical situations. The clash between the mundane and the supernatural provides plenty of laughs. 36. Mao-chan by Kazuhiro Fujita, a light-hearted manga about a young girl who is given the task of saving the world from alien invaders. The humor comes from her earnest but often clumsy attempts to handle her responsibilities while balancing her everyday life. 37. Aho Girl by Hiroyuki. This series follows the ridiculously silly antics of a high school girl who is so foolish that she becomes a source of constant amusement for those around her. The exaggerated humor and ridiculous scenarios make this manga a fun read. 38. Nobunaga Concerto by Ayuko Hata, a comedic historical manga that follows a modern high school student who is transported back in time and ends up becoming Oda Nobunaga. The humorous contrast between his contemporary knowledge and historical challenges leads to plenty of funny moments. 39. Machi Machi Panda by Hiromu Shinozaki, a charming and humorous manga about a group of adorable panda characters living out their daily lives. The light-hearted and whimsical scenarios they find themselves in are both entertaining and endearing. 40. Koi to Uso by Misawa, a romantic comedy set in a world where love is regulated by the government. The protagonist struggle to follow the system while dealing with his own feelings leads to a series of funny and awkward situations. 41. Saiki Kurakawa by Asaka Katsura. This manga follows a high school student with the ability to hear everyone's thoughts, leading to a series of comedic and awkward situations. The protagonist's struggle to deal with the constant influx of private thoughts provides plenty of humor and relatable scenarios. 42. Miyako-chan by Josue Yamazaki. This series combines humor with supernatural elements as it follows Miyako, a high school girl who has the ability to see ghosts and otherworldly beings. Her humorous attempts to manage her ghostly encounters while dealing with daily life make for an entertaining read. 43. Manga de Wakura Shinryaneka by Yui Kuro, a humorous yet educational manga about mental health and psychology, focusing on various psychological disorders and conditions through funny and relatable scenarios. It combines insightful content with light-hearted humor. 44. Hoshi no Samidare by Satoshi Mizukami, a unique blend of comedy and fantasy. This manga follows a high school student who is recruited to fight alongside a talking lizard to save the world. The contrast between the fantastical elements and everyday life creates many amusing situations. 45. Densha Otoko by Hidenori Kusaka and Takashi Ikeda. Based on a true story, this manga depicts the humorous and heartwarming tale of a socially awkward otaku who finds romance and personal growth through his interactions with a woman he met on a train. 46. Bamboo Blade by Masahiro Tatsuka, a comedy about a high school kendo club and its eccentric members. The humor arises from the quirky personalities of the club members and their often ridiculous attempts to improve their kendo skills and win competitions. 47. Moya Shimon by Masayuki Ishikawa, follows a college student who can see and communicate with microorganisms. The humorous interactions between him and these tiny creatures, combined with the bizarre scenarios they encounter, make for an entertaining and educational read. Point 48. Ichiro. By Satoshi Watanabe, this manga showcases the humorous and often absurd adventures of Ichiro, a high school student who finds himself in a series of outlandish situations. The combination of everyday problems with fantastical elements provides a lot of comedic value. Point 49. Abenobashi Mahu Shitengai by Hajime Yatate, a comedy that mixes fantasy and reality as two friends get transported to various magical worlds. The humorous and often satirical take on different fantasy tropes makes this manga a fun and entertaining read. Point 50. Kimi ni Todoke by Kuroho Shina. While primarily a romance, this manga includes plenty of humor through its depiction of the awkward and endearing experiences of its shy protagonist. The series blends sweet moments with comedic misunderstandings and social interactions. 51. Daily Lives of High School Boys by Yasunobu Yamauchi. This manga captures the absurd and humorous everyday life of high school boys. The series showcases their goofy adventures and hilarious conversations, focusing on the mundane yet riotous aspects of teenage life. Point 52. Yuri Yuri by Namori, a comedy centered around a group of high school girls who form a fun club and engage in various silly activities. The humor comes from their interactions, playful banter, and the often absurd situations they find themselves in. Point 53. Dansha Kakusei no Nichijou by Yasunobu Yamauchi. Similar to Daily Lives of High School Boys, this manga focuses on the comedic aspects of high school life, highlighting the ridiculous and funny moments that come with being a teenage boy. Point 54. Fujiyama-san wa Shishunki by Ryo Ikwimi, a manga about a high school girl who is a budding comedian. The humor arises from her efforts to balance her comedic ambitions with her everyday school life, leading to a series of funny and endearing situations. Point 55. Ueno-san wa Bukiyu by Tujiniko. This manga revolves around Ueno-san, a high school girl with a passion for science who struggles with her lack of social skills. The comedic aspects come from her awkward attempts to interact with her crush and the humorous scientific experiments she conducts. Point 56. Koiwai's Works by Masahiko Nakamura, a series showcasing the eccentric and humorous adventures of Koiwai, a salaryman who finds himself in various amusing and bizarre situations. The humor often highlights the absurdity of office life and social interactions. Point 57. Kuroko's Basketball by Tadatoshi Fujimaki. While primarily a sports manga, it incorporates a lot of humor through the interactions of the basketball team and their over-the-top personalities. The comedic elements balance well with the intense sports action. Point 58. Sasamiki Kodo by Takashi Ikeda, a charming comedy that follows the daily lives of high school girls in a girls' school. The humor often stems from the protagonist's awkward attempts to express her feelings and the funny situations she encounters with her friends. Point 59. Angel Densetsu by Norihiro Yagi. This manga tells the story of a high school student with a frightening appearance who is actually kind-hearted. The comedy arises from the misunderstandings and chaotic situations caused by his intimidating looks. Point 60. Kaiju No. 8 by Naoya Matsumoto. In this manga, the protagonist gains the ability to transform into a kaiju, leading to a mix of humor and action as he tries to balance his new monstrous form with his normal life. The comedic moments often revolve around his awkward attempts to hide his secret. 61. Sakamoto Disugie. By Nami Sano, this series features Sakamoto, an impossibly cool and perfect high school student who handles every situation with style and flair. The comedy arises from the over-the-top admiration and envy of his classmates, who are constantly amazed by his flawless demeanor. Point 62. D-Frag. By Tomoya Haruno, a comedic look at the antics of a high school delinquent who gets coerced into joining a bizarre club filled with eccentric members. The humor comes from the absurd situations and the protagonist's interactions with his unpredictable new friends. Point 63. Non Baiori by Ado. Set in a rural village, this manga follows the daily lives of four girls who experience a series of charming and humorous events. The comedy often stems from the contrast between their slow-paced rural life and their quirky personalities. Point 64. Manga Sutra by Maki and Joji, a humorous exploration of the world of manga creation through the eyes of a young artist who encounters a series of amusing challenges and quirky characters. The blend of inside jokes about the manga industry with everyday life creates a funny and engaging read. Point 65. Yamachan and the Girls by Nakahara. This manga follows the hilarious adventures of a high school boy and his interactions with a group of quirky female classmates. The humor is driven by the absurd situations they get into and their eccentric personalities. Point 66. Gekken Shoujo Nozaki-kun by Izumi Tsubaki. This series features a high school girl who discovers that her crush, Nozaki, is a popular shoujo manga artist. The comedic situations arise from her attempts to help him with his manga and the funny misunderstandings that ensue. Point 67. Mushoku Tensei, Isekai Atara Hunki Desu by Rifujin na Maganote. Although primarily a fantasy series, it has a humorous take on the isekai genre with a protagonist who approaches his new life with a mix of determination and comical mishaps. The blend of fantasy and humor adds a unique twist. Point 68. The Quintessential Quintuplets by Negi Hiroba. This romantic comedy follows a high school student hired to tutor 5 identical quintuplet sisters, each with her own quirks and personalities. The humor comes from his attempts to navigate their differing needs and the chaotic situations that arise. Point 69. Beelzebub by Ryuhei Tamura, a comedic action series featuring a high school delinquent who ends up raising the son of the Demon King. The absurdity of his new responsibilities and the outrageous antics of his demon child lead to plenty of laughs. Point 70. Nadain Cantabile by Tomoko Ninomiya. This manga blends comedy with classical music as it follows the unconventional and humorous relationship between a talented but messy pianist and a perfectionist conductor. The comedic elements arise from their contrasting personalities and the chaos they create together. Point 71. Ko no Katachi by Yashitoki Oima. While known for its emotional depth, it includes humorous moments through the protagonist's interactions with his classmates and his attempts to make amends for his past actions. The blend of humor with poignant storytelling adds a unique layer to the manga. Point 72. Kimi wa Midera na Boku no Jo by Ryo Kame. This manga features a high school boy who gets involved in a series of comedic and risque adventures after discovering a hidden side to his seemingly ordinary classmates. The humor often revolves around the unexpected and playful situations. Point 73. D. Greyman by Katsura Hoshino. Known for its dark themes, it also incorporates humor through the quirky personalities of the exorcists and their humorous interactions. The series balances intense moments with comedic relief, making it a well-rounded read. Point 74. Mitsudomo by Norio Sakurai. This manga focuses on the misadventures of triplet sisters in elementary school, whose wild antics and the chaos they cause at school provide plenty of comedic moments and hilarious situations. Point 75. Hinomaru Zumo by Kawada. A sports manga about a high school sumo wrestling club. The humor often comes from the exaggerated personalities and the over-the-top scenarios in the world of high school sumo wrestling, blending comedy with competitive spirit. 76. Uramikai Onaizen by Gaku Q's. Uramikai Onaizen is a children's TV host with a darkly comedic twist. Despite his cheerful on-screen persona, his interactions reveal a jaded and cynical outlook on life. The humor comes from the stark contrast between his public image and private frustrations, providing a laugh-out-loud exploration of adult disillusionment. Point 77. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible by Nene Yukimori. In this manga, a high school girl's unique ability to be almost invisible to everyone leads to comical situations as she struggles to get noticed. Her attempts to stand out and the humorous reactions from those who finally see her create a delightful read filled with awkward and endearing moments. Point 78. Nichijou, My Ordinary Life by Keiichi Arawi. Nichijou presents the daily lives of 3 high school girls with an absurd twist. From talking cats to robotic teachers, the series transforms mundane moments into surreal and hilarious scenarios. The whimsical humor and outlandish events make this manga a standout in comedy. Point 79. Yuri Yuri by Namori. Follow the antics of the amusement club, where high school girls engage in playful and absurd activities. The humor comes from their whimsical interactions and the often ridiculous situations they find themselves in, making Yuri Yuri a charmingly funny exploration of teenage friendship and fun. Point 80. Daily Lives of High School Boys by Yasunobu Yamauchi. This manga offers a comedic look at the lives of high school boys engaging in absurd and hilarious adventures. The series captures the humor in everyday teenage life, showcasing the boys' goofy interactions and the often ridiculous situations they create. Point 81. Sakamoto Disugie. By Nami Sano, the manga follows Sakamoto, a high school student whose effortless coolness and impeccable style make him the center of attention. The comedy arises from the exaggerated admiration and envy of those around him, making everyday situations hilariously dramatic. Point 82. D-Frag. By Tomoya Haruno, a delinquent student gets dragged into a bizarre club full of eccentric members. The series blends slapstick humor with absurdity as the protagonist contends with the club's wacky activities and unpredictable characters, creating a fun and chaotic read. 83. Moya Shimon by Masayuki Ishikawa. This manga follows a student who can see and talk to microorganisms. His humorous interactions with these tiny beings and the often strange scenarios they lead to make Moya Shimon a uniquely entertaining blend of comedy and education. 84. Kakashigoto by Koji Kamida, the story of a manga artist who goes to great lengths to keep his profession a secret from his young daughter. The humor comes from his elaborate and often absurd attempts to hide his job, leading to many funny and touching moments. 85. Koi to Uso by Mizawa, set in a world where love is regulated by the government. This manga explores the humorous complications that arise when a high school student grapples with his feelings and the strict societal rules governing romantic relationships. 86. Angel Densetsu by Norihiro Yagi. The series follows a high school student with a terrifying appearance who is actually kind-hearted. The comedy stems from the misunderstandings and chaotic situations his fearsome looks cause, leading to a blend of humor and heartfelt moments. 87. Ko no Katachi by Yasutoki Oima. Though primarily a drama, this manga includes humor through its depiction of the protagonist's interactions with his classmates and his attempts to make amends. The comedic moments add a light touch to the otherwise emotional storyline. 88. Mitsudomo by Norio Sakurai. This manga follows the hilarious escapades of triplet sisters in elementary school. Their wild behavior and the reactions of their teachers and classmates provide a constant source of humor and absurdity, making it a delightfully funny series. 89. Hinomaru Zumo by Kawada. Centered around a high school sumo wrestling club, the manga blends sports action with comedic elements. The exaggerated personalities and outlandish scenarios in the sumo world add a humorous twist to the competitive sports narrative. 90. Hataraku Mausama. By Satoshi Wagahara, a demon lord is transported to modern Tokyo and has to work at a fast food restaurant. His attempts to adapt to a mundane life while hiding his true identity lead to numerous humorous and awkward situations. 91. Koiwai's Works by Masahiko Nakamura. This manga features Koiwai, a salaryman who finds himself in a series of humorous and bizarre situations at work. The comedy often highlights the absurdities of office life and social interactions, making it a fun read for fans of workplace humor. 92. Non Baiori by Ado. Set in a serene rural village, this manga follows four girls navigating their daily lives with a humorous touch. The contrast between their slow-paced environment and their quirky personalities leads to many charming and funny moments. 93. Fujiyama-san wa Shishunki by Ryo Ikwimi. This series follows Fujiyama, a high school girl aspiring to become a comedian. Her hilarious attempts to balance her comedic dreams with everyday school life provide plenty of laugh-out-loud moments and endearing scenarios. 94. Moya Shimon by Masayuki Ishikawa. With a protagonist who can see and communicate with microorganisms, this manga combines humor with scientific curiosity. The protagonist's amusing interactions with these tiny beings and the resulting bizarre scenarios make for a uniquely funny read. 95. Sasamiki Koto by Takashi Ikeda. This manga explores the humorous and awkward experiences of a high school girl trying to express her feelings while dealing with her own insecurities. The comedic moments arise from her attempts to navigate her crush's reactions and social dynamics. 96. Beelzebub by Ryuhei Tamura. A high school delinquent unexpectedly becomes the guardian of the Demon King's infant son. The manga mixes comedy with supernatural elements as the protagonist deals with the outrageous behavior of his new charge and the chaotic situations that ensue. 97. Kuriko's Basketball by Tadatoshi Fujimaki. Known for its intense basketball action, this manga also includes plenty of humor through the quirky personalities of its characters and their comedic interactions on and off the court. The blend of sports and comedy creates a dynamic and entertaining read. 98. D. Greyman by Katsura Hoshino. While primarily a dark fantasy, this manga incorporates humor through the eccentricities of its diverse cast of characters. The comedic relief comes from their interactions and the absurdities that arise amidst the darker plotlines. 99. The Quintessential Quintuplets by Negi Hiroba. This romantic comedy revolves around a tutor and the 5 identical quintuplets he must teach. The humor comes from his struggles with their differing personalities and the hilarious situations that arise from his attempts to win their hearts. 100. Yuri Yuri by Namori. a light-hearted series that follows a group of high school girls in an amusement club engaging in funny and whimsical activities. The humor arises from their playful interactions and the often absurd scenarios they find themselves in, making it a delightful read. That's it for the video. Thanks for joining us on this hilarious journey through these 100 funny manga. From supernatural shenanigans to high school hijinks, these series offer a perfect mix of laughter and entertainment. If you enjoyed this list, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on your favorite manga and anime. Stay tuned for more great recommendations and fun discussions. See you next time.